Hey, hey. All right, welcome. I'm Ashley from Willow's Home Decor. Thanks for watching. I am gonna kick off my Christmas in July. Happy July 1st. Crazy that it's already July. And we've had such weird weather. It's been like cold. I was cold today that it doesn't even feel like summer really. So anyway, I have a whole bunch of different Christmas projects to get painted. I'm so behind already on all my projects. But hopefully this will help me get caught up by doing these every week. So yeah, I am going to be doing cardinals today. I have a whole like collection of items and their ornaments, and then one's like a little votive shelf sitter. And I've been wanting to paint these and haven't done it, so I thought I would get it on, get going on it today. So I am going to put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Since these are smaller projects, it's kind of hard to see. Hi, thank you. Hi, Holly. Thank you so much. So I am gonna flip the camera so that you can see down on, since these are smaller ornaments and such, I think that'll be easier for you to see what I'm doing. So, and these are not on my page yet. I'm going to get them painted tonight, and then I'll get them photographed and listed tomorrow. And so you'll be able to see how I do this, and then pick up the blanks if you want. Okay, so here, let me just move these. Okay, so here we go. Let me see if we can do this without chaos. Okay, there we go. And I hate this dang thing. Ugh. There's always some sort of problem. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's a little better. Okay, so I am going to use some of the new colors I got from Decor. And then just a white and a black. And maybe I might be using this brown I have, which is called Oak Creek. It is a bear color. To do some, what do you call it? Like faux stain. We'll see. I have like all this random stuff written on here. It's distracting. Just doing some pricing. Just doing a, okay, let me get this. Why is this like this? There we go. Okay, so obviously going to use a red. This is deep burgundy. So I think I'm going to use that one. We'll see how we like it. I haven't used it yet. That's the one that like blew up in my box. Well, it didn't blow it, but it was like all coming out. And then I have the marigold, mountain mist, lush green, and zinc. And then I just have a white and a black. So I think I'm gonna start with this guy, which is the little votive shelf sitter. And then we'll see what I can get into for the ornaments. So there's an option to just have it be a shelf sitter with just this, or you can do the, this one has the little hole for the votive, which I did get out one of those. That fits just right in there. And I just bought those on Amazon, so. Okay, let me pull my chair up. Okay, so for this one, it should be fairly quick and easy, I would think. Okay, so there's that. And this is, I don't know what color I'm gonna do that. Blue maybe. These are both green. And this little face is black, and it has the score lines on there for you to see for the eye and the nose. In some of these, the bigger ones, the nose is separate, but this one you'll have to paint it in with a small brush. Christmas in July. At some point I'll probably put on some sort of sale. Last year I did a 12 days of Christmas where I had a different item each week, so I might do something like that again. Okay, so this is going to be white. So I'll start with that one. Let's see. All right. So I think you really only have to paint this part because the rest of it's going to be covered up. I'm just going to go around and whatever, like, oh, I guess this would be a window arch. And I'm going to come down all the way on this side. But I think the rest of that's all going to be covered by the top pieces. So as always, I'm using my makeup wedges, and that's going to come in really handy when I get to this part that's scored. Hopefully, we'll see if I can do it without getting paint in the score lines. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and let's try this burgundy. Let's see. Normally I would do it in like a brighter red, but I'm gonna give this a try. See if I like it. If not, I'll switch colors. It's not too bad. And then I'm just gonna go over the whole headpiece. Probably the easiest, then try to paint around it. Okay, there's that. And then this actually is gonna be the same color. I might do the other ones in the brighter red. but I've committed for this so far. Okay, so let's try this lush green. I haven't even used any of these colors, and I got them a couple weeks ago. And I have one kind of similar to this. Okay, so I'm just gonna, this is a makeup wedge I've already used. I'm just gonna cut that off so I can keep using it. And then get that out of the way. Get some green on these. Let's see. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go live maybe. And I don't know what time or anything. Maybe in the morning or early afternoon. And do that, show you how to make that spider that I made yesterday. So cute and really pretty easy. I want to keep working on Halloween, but I know I really should get to work on Christmas. So Christmas in July it is. I might still do some Halloween projects here and there. Okay, so once those dry, I'll go back over them. And this one, I'm gonna move these actually. This one here, I think I'm gonna do that in a blue, this Mountain Mist. Let's see. Okay, so this is a pretty lighter blue color. So the key here is to, because you have these score lines here, and with the makeup wedge, if you're using a brush, it would be probably impossible to not get those lines filled in with paint. With a makeup wedge, if you just put a little on and then offload it so it's not super saturated with paint, and then just lightly dab over it. You don't want too heavy of a hand. And see, it goes on nice and doesn't fill in those lines. But if you do get paint in there, you can always go in and try to clean out the lines. And sometimes people, I've seen it where they just used it, they basically used a marker or paint pen and went over it. So used it kind of as a stencil, I guess. So that's always an option. But if you don't use too much paint and just lightly go over that, you should be all right. So I don't even have any lines to clean out. So just dip it in, offload it, and then lightly dab. Doing light coats is much better than globbing lots of paint on there. So I'm just gonna go over these again. Make sure they're covered well. Looks like that's going to be good with just 2 coats. And then once that dries, I'll go in those on the face and do the other colors. This one's pretty quick, actually. Okay, and then with this, I'm gonna go over it again, just to make sure it gets a good coating on there. And honestly, it really depends on your style. So if you wanted to make this look kind of rustic, you might not have to do a second coat. I don't think I'm going to do any sand in today, but that would be cute on that. Okay, let's see here. Maybe I might sand that. That might be cute. I have some of these like little faux window, decorative windows, and they're all kind of rustic looking like that. So that might be cute actually. Okay, I'll wait for that to dry. So I don't love the coverage on the red. I'm gonna do another one, another coat here, just to make sure. Okay, so while that dries, I'm going to actually take this makeup wedge that I've already been using that has white on it, and I'm gonna offload that white so it's not super saturated. And then I'm just gonna go around my edges, and I just like to dab it on there. You can do as little or as much as you want on there. You could probably even do like a dry brushing with this, would look cool. And then in the middle that is where those berries are gonna go, so you don't really need to do that part, even though I kind of got some on there. And if you get too much on, you can always wipe it off, at least while it's still wet. Okay, so, and this is gonna sit on top of that. Might go a little heavier on this one just to set it apart from that one. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on this guy. Just going along the edges. And you can dab it, or you can kind of swipe it away from the piece. Get a little more down here. This is getting pretty dry. Okay, and then I think this is dry. I'm gonna hit it with my little heat gun. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this guy. I'm just gonna do the top side of him. Oh, this is not supposed to be red, it's supposed to be black. What am I doing? Well, at least black will go over that well. What a ding dong. Like something doesn't look right here. That's a lot of red. Okay, let's try this again. So this is gonna be black. It's just gonna take a couple of coats to cover that red. We'll have to cut some chunks in there. Okay, well that dries. I'll do this part. Oh, where'd my white go? There it is. Okay, so just again on the top, this is getting kind of dry. Okay, and I might come in with my dark crayon. Let me see. So you can't see it anymore, but this is a Tim Holtz Distress Crayon in black. I don't know if it has a different name. You could use your black paint and do the same thing that I did with the white, but sometimes this is easier. So I just brush this on there, get a good amount on there, and then I'm just gonna go around the bottom here. Just kind of giving it that darker shade. Not even too much. Do the same on this little guy. Okay. Whoop. And then I need to do some white on the berries. Some little frosted berries here. Okay. Let's see, I think I can go over this again. Okay, so while that dries, I do think I'm going to sand this lightly with my little finger sander. I'm just gonna make this kind of look rustic. And then I also need to do the stand. I haven't painted that yet. And then I just have a 220 grit sandpaper on there. They come with a whole bunch of different ones. And these are pretty inexpensive. Perfect for this kind of crafting. Okay, so let's see. Where's my other piece? What did I do with it? There it is. I'll just paint them both so you can see both options. Excuse me, just yawning. So for this one, I'm going to do, you could paint these a solid color if you want, but I'm going to use some brown and apparently get it all over the place. And this is just a baby wipe that I've got off Amazon. And I just go in and wipe it across there. It just kind of gives it that faux stain look because these are MDF. So, I don't know, you could probably use the water-based stain on it, but I never have. But this works great. And you can do this with any color, which is nice. Woo. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the middle part there because you're gonna see that, of course, when you don't have your candle in there. But you don't really have to do that. So you just only need to basically paint the top one piece because those are going to get glued together. Okay, let's see if this is ready. I can still see some red. Dang it. Hopefully this will be enough. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paint in the eye, and then I'll do the beak. And I had pulled out yellow, but I was looking up cardinals, and it seems like they usually have like orange or like almost a red beak. We don't have cardinals here, I don't believe. So I've never seen one in person, but. So I think I'm gonna actually do orange for the beak, not yellow. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with my liner brush and paint in that. Kind of got that on there thick. That'll probably take a while to dry. Whoops. Let me take some off. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the eyeball white just because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see it. So I just cleaned off my brush with my what's this called? My baby wipe. And then use the same brush. All right. Now we're just gotta wait for things to dry. Probably put the heat gun on it again and see if that helps. Okay, that I'm gonna set over there. And then I'm just gonna start gluing this part together. So this is a quick little craft. This one's pretty small. I don't know what size it is actually. So I'm just lining it up so it's flush, and then you have this tab here, and that's what goes into your base. And then this piece will go next. Okay, so now I gotta do this guy. And this is my favorite glue, craft glue, art glitter glue. Dries clear, permanent, water-based, non-toxic. Oh, no, you're not gonna see that, I don't think, hopefully. No, is that not gonna be covered up? No. Well, crap. It also gives you a little bit of time so you can fix anything before it dries too fast. Okay, so apparently you're gonna see this little piece here. So if you want to avoid these kind of issues, you can just paint the whole piece. But I popped that off, and I'm just gonna dab some paint right there. And now I can go back in, put a little bit more glue on this, and start putting it back together. If I was using the glue I used to use, which was called Stick Fast, I would not have been able to take that off, so I'm glad that I learned about this glue because it's much easier to work with. Okay, so I think this is dry enough. I'm gonna just use that white again and just lightly dab on the top of the head before I glue this on. Ooh. And then I'm gonna put the white on. Okay. And then this goes over the top of this other green piece. I don't know if it really matters where you put it. Oh, well, I'm actually putting it upside down, I guess. Sorry, I had to look at the... Okay, I see. Wow, I am just not on my top of my game today. So you can see here, this actually fits right over the top of that piece. So There we go. I was gonna do it the other direction. Ay, ay, ay. And you know what? If you did do it the other direction, I don't think anybody would have known. Okay. Can you tell this is the first time I've made this file? All right, that's coming together. Cute. Okay, so, oh, and I missed that part too. Man. Okay, so maybe just paint the whole thing white so you don't miss spots like I'm doing here. I don't. Apparently Kevin forgot I was on a live. Okay, so I'm just having to go in and fill this in. Okay. So don't be like me. Just paint the whole white. Whole thing white there. Then you won't have that problem. Okay, so now I'm going to do some dots. Where's my paint pen? Okay, I guess I don't have any. So I'm just going to use my paintbrush. I guess I could use the end of my brush. Man, I am just off my game today. Let's see here. I don't know where all my stuff is. Try to clean up, then you can't find anything. Okay, so these are just dotting brushes or dotting tools in different sizes. I'm just gonna do some dots on my berries. And then I think I might do just some decorative lines. Let's see, I think I got too much paint on there. My hand is not steady tonight. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do some little baby dots. And I guess I can do it on that back piece as well. Just a couple on here. Yikes. Oh. Okay. So you don't have to do this at all. You can also use a paint pen to do some lines and dots. Might be easier. Okay, and then I think for this one I'm gonna do a little splattering. And I didn't get my brush out for that. So I'm just using, this is a well-used, if I can even get it apart, this is a stenciling brush. Some people use a toothbrush. I've seen that. Sometimes I have used a, what are these called? They call it a chip brush. Anything that kind of like is a stiffer bristle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of water to my white here. Just kind of water it down a little bit. Dip my brush in that. And then I just use my finger and go across it. And it just kind of puts some little speckles on there. And you can do it as light or as heavy as you want. And then if you have too much water, it's gonna make, obviously it's gonna water the paint down, but also it's gonna probably give you bigger splatter. So just kind of, you can play around with it to get the technique that you want. Whoa. I prefer this smaller, kind of looks like snow. Okay. Perfect. And then let's glue our bases together. So for this, I'm just gonna put some glue on this top piece and then line it up with the bottom. And just to make sure that you get the hole lined up, you'll want to, whoa, why is this so tight? Okay, there we go. It's a snug fit, which is good. So there's that, and that's that base. And then for this one, and I did not splatter my base, so you can if you want. Goodness gracious. Okay, get on there. There we go. So for this one, I'm just gonna put a little glue, and I can put that base piece on. Okay, so there's that. Super cute and pretty easy. Okay, so let's see what it looks like with the, we gotta put it the right way, with the light. Get that back on there. It's probably gonna be hard to tell in this light. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see that at all. But you get the idea. I'll have to take a picture of it in a darker, and these kind of flicker, which is cool. I don't know if there's, I don't think there's any taller ones, but I think in the dark you'll be able to really see that, and that'll be really cute. So that's that. Okay. Well, I'm just going to paint one more here. One ornament. So this is just the cardinal. And this one, the beak, is a separate piece, so makes it a little easier to paint. And I guess I'll just stick with this burgundy since I'm already got it out. So if I can do the right colors, it might take a little less time. Okay, I'm gonna use that same tape I already used, and I'm gonna put these smaller pieces on here because it just makes it a lot easier to paint instead of trying to hold it while you're painting. And let's see, move that further down. Okay, so for this, I'm just gonna go over the whole thing. Okay, and then do the wing. Okay, so those can dry. Let's see. I need another sponge for my orange, since on the last one we used a brush. Okay, and then we got our green. Okay, and this time I'm going to do this the correct color, black, so I don't have to put 10 more coats on it. Probably get away with 2 on that one. Okay. And if you don't put the paint on too heavy, then it dries pretty quickly. And you can start going around again on a second coat. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this color, this burgundy. It's pretty, but I don't know, maybe it's just the paint doesn't cover that well. Alright. The screen covers well, which is good. Make sure I get it in all the right places. think I'm gonna hit this one with the heat gun. Because that's definitely gonna need another coat. Dog hair. Yikes. That's taking at least 3 coats. I don't love that. Okay, the rest of them look all right. I'm gonna do my white again. It's got all dried out. Put a little more paint on there, see if I can still work with this one. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna go around and dab on this. And like I always say, you don't have to do this at all. You could just leave it green and not add any of the decorative type stuff to it, and it will still look cute. But, you know, I like to be a little extra. Not as extra as some people, but just a little. That's probably still a little wet. And this doesn't really matter, it's going to be covered up. Okay, and then I think, let's see, that comes down at least a little ways, so I'm just going to go ahead and go down on that part. And then I can go ahead and add a little to that. And we can do our white eye. Alright, I'm going to do my white on my wing. Ooh, got a little too much on there. That's okay. Try to kind of blend it. This baby wipe's pretty dry. And I'm going to get the top, try to get the top of that. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to use that black again on the bottom half, just kind of giving it a little dimension here. And I'll do that here as well. Basically just your underside of your bird. even 3 coats didn't cover it that well. Okay, let's do this. Use the correct side. Okay. Just kind of go over the whole piece, make it look frosted. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Now, let's see. I think I can glue it together. Should probably turn this off. Wasting the battery. Okay, so put a little glue on there. Glue this. Just try to line that up. Okay. And I'll put a little glue on that piece. And then there's a score line on there to help you so you know where that goes. Same thing with these berries, if you can see that. There's a score line there. Although I feel like you could probably figure out where those go. Probably don't need the score line necessarily. Okay, and then this piece, so this goes, how does it go? Okay, it goes like that. Okay. I don't know if maybe I should do a little white on this part. Okay. Let's see if we can get this lined up properly. So this is going to go in here. Here we go. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a little dab of glue in here for the nose piece. And the pointier side is the part that goes to the outside. That just fits right in there. I put too much glue. Okay, and then I'm gonna actually go on this with a little bit of white. It's easier to do once it's glued on there. Oh, my little, there it is. My eyeball got a weird dot in it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do a little of the decorative on the greenery here. Maybe. Man. Okay. I don't know if you're really going to be able to see it on that one. Okay, and then this way, going in. The little one's hard. And then I got a little too much on there. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, that already dried. Add a little green on it. And then I'm going to use my dotting tool again. I think I'll use maybe the thicker end this time. So you just dip that in there in your white paint and then just do a couple of little dots. See. And I don't always do this. Oh my gosh, I am just making a mess. I didn't get enough paint on that one. Oh my goodness. The struggle is real tonight. Okay, let's see, how can I fix this part? Where is my... Need a clean Q-tip. Hopefully I can get that off of there. Okay, good. Just gonna add a little bit of red, just, oh my goodness. Okay, I am done. I am just making things worse. I guess I'm just having one of those nights. Ay. Okay. I need a better night's sleep. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do the splatter again on this one. So you can always test your splatter first before you put it on your project, so you don't ruin it. See, now I don't have enough. Okay. So there's that. And I will do a hanger. I need to get some ribbon. Okay, so this is just, I think this is the 3/8 buffalo check, black and white. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. It's been a while. Okay, I'm just gonna use the bottle here. And normally I would not probably have this laying down when I did it, but for demonstration purposes, I will do it like this. Hopefully that's enough. It's probably more than enough. I'm trying to remember how to do this. Okay. This is probably not wide enough, actually. Let's see. This is my little shaker bottle. I just want a little bit of a thicker base there. Okay, so just tying it like you tie your shoes. This might not have even been big enough. Okay. Now, let's see if I can remember how to do this part. Can't remember if you go in the back or the front. Let's see. Okay, so you want to come from behind because you want your bow to be up front. Okay, so come through like that, and then let's see, you actually go in between there and then pull it tight. Okay, I did it. Yay! And you can adjust your bow from there. I don't know if a bow's necessarily the best with this, but let me see here. Once I learn how to do this, this is like the only way I hang my ornaments now. Yeah, okay. So I used way too much ribbon, so I'm just going to trim that off. And you can cut it however you want at an angle. Try to make those similar. And there you have it. Okay, pretty simple. That one's pretty quick. Okay, so I'm going to probably just paint these tomorrow, these other ones. Sorry, I just got really tired. It'll be in a similar fashion though to what I did here. So we got our little shelf sitter, forever in our hearts, and our cute little ornament. And then I'll add these other ornaments. Tomorrow I'll put them in a picture when I get them all painted in the morning. And then, like I said, I'll probably go live tomorrow sometime and show how to make that spider. Because it is so cute and it was super easy. I saw one similar on Pinterest and I was like, I have to make that. So I just quickly designed it, which was really easy. And then I got some wire, and the one that I have tomorrow is a bigger one, so it'll be a little bit. This one's pretty small, but super cute. You can just hang it from your shelf or wherever. But yeah, back to Christmas. So I have so many Christmas files to paint. So I don't know what ones I'll do next, but you can planned that I will be doing probably Christmas every Wednesday. And maybe I might come on some other days. I don't know. Tomorrow I'll definitely come on and do that because I wanted to do a tutorial of the spider. I posted it as a reel, but you know, those are so fast, so I want to make sure that you can see how to assemble that. But yeah. Well, I hope you have a great night. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a happy 4th of July. We aren't doing anything too crazy. One of our dogs really doesn't like the fireworks, and people go wild around here. So we usually end up hiding out. But we are gonna go over to Kevin's parents for like a barbecue during the day. Oh, I forgot to do the white on these. Oh my gosh. See, I need to just go to bed. Okay. All right, that's it for me. All right, well, thank you, and I will be seeing you later. Have a great rest of your week.